Yeqox, Abananas, and good morning. My name is Carrie Chelsea, and I will be your MC for today's opening for our new First Nations Indigenous justice system. There has been a lot of hard work and dedication towards this entire process. So I want to welcome everybody who has been waiting for years for this to happen. I want to start us off in a good way. Traditionally, any kind of events, especially something with such importance, would be opened with a traditional song, and we are very lucky to have had Councillor Joanne Métis out of the Williams Lake First Nations, along with Miss Phillips and the students of the Little Chiefs Primary School, pre-record for us a great opening. So let's all, if you can, stand, and we'll definitely show some respect for this video, and then we will move forward from there. So let's go ahead and have that opening. Jim.
We thank you,
Creator, for giving us this beautiful earth. Take care of everything on this earth.
We're Miss Kent, we're Pui, we're Swell, we're Salazar, and we're teaching school.
Take care of the people, the animals, the birds, the fish, the water, and the food. Help us be strong. We thank you for giving us this beautiful earth that we need.
Okay, thank you so much. So we're just here with Little Chiefs Primary School, and we are going to be doing a drum song, and this song is the Yeqox song, and it was created by the late Arthur Dick of Esquette, and he had received this song on the Fasting Mountain, and he had given permission to different people to use this song. So it's a prayer that's going out to the highest chief and to thank them for everything that we have. So we're sending this song from our Little Chiefs school to the Indigenous court, and we'd like to congratulate them on their 6 years of work that they've done, and also for the training that has taken part. So, and Francis Supernault will be leading our song with us. Thank you. So we would like to say thank you and congratulations to the Indigenous Court on the amount of work that you're doing. And we're coming from the Williams Lake First Nation and Little Chiefs Primary School. Thank you so much. Let's give them a hand. Awesome. Kurchetchen, Yuri.
Thank you, Little Chiefs Primary School. It always warms everybody's heart to see that the culture and traditional values are being passed on to future generations, and to hear children singing such an important song and being part of such an important process really, really shows that we're moving in the right direction and we're moving forward. So thank you, Joanne, Ms. Phillips, and the Little Chief students. Next, I'd like to introduce a really good friend of mine. This man has been part of his community's leadership for since I've known him. And what we would like to do is be welcomed in a very traditional good way. So I would like to introduce Gukbe Willie Sellers of the Williams Lake First Nations.
Wait up, Gukbe Willie Sellers runs west. Thank you, Carrie. Thank you, drummers. Thank you, Joanne. I'd like to welcome everybody to the traditional territory of the Williams Lake First Nation, which I'm currently residing in, where the Indigenous Court is going to be located moving forward into the future. We have a really cool agenda today. I mean, the legacy of this project and the work that the Yeqox Nilin Society has been able to do is something that's going to be, you know, held up and I guess celebrated for a long time. We live in an area, Williams Lake, that is a hub to a number of different First Nations communities, including the Carrier, the Sequebin, the Chocoden, and even the Newhall. And growing up in such a diverse area, a diverse region, we always look at, you know, has all of us come together to collaborate on something in the past? And it has happened in the past, but it hasn't happened often. To come together on something like this that involves healing, where, you know, we're holding up our elders, our knowledge keepers, our storytellers, our language holders, is a pretty massive event. I couldn't be more prouder to be a part of it as a leader. But something else that we're doing is we're holding up all those individuals that are struggling and going down their own healing journey, and trying to give them a better shot at making a better shot at getting, you know, integrated back into the community in a good way. So thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak. Thank you for allowing me to welcome you to the territory. And thank you for all the hard work that's being done. Cook's Jam.
All right. Thank you, Gukbe Sellers, for your powerful and kind words towards the opening today. Next, I would like to welcome the Chief, pardon me, the Honorable Melissa Gillespie, Chief Judge of our Provincial Court. From what I understand, and after some discussion, Chief Gillespie has been involved in this process for some time, and I'm sure that the Honorable Chief Judge is as excited as we all are to see this process and this opening finally moving forward. So without further ado, the Honorable Melissa Gillespie, Chief Judge of our Provincial Court.
Thank you. Thank you, Carrie. Please let me start by offering my gratitude. I want to thank our elders for their guidance and wisdom that they share with us. To Chief Willie Sellers, Chief Jimmy Lulua, Chief Linda Price, Chief Fred Robbins, Alex Norquay, and to our Attorney General, the Honorable David Eby. Thank you for honoring us with your presence and leadership today. I recognize this has been a long road, and there have been many of us walking together with one goal: to create a better way of doing justice. One that does not just make room for Indigenous peoples, but one that embraces the wisdom of our elders and acknowledges that in this journey of reconciliation, together we can promote the importance of healing. The circle of our relations today is large, diverse, and inclusive. My gratitude goes to the local committee and the Nilin Society, who have worked so hard. To the chiefs of the nations, BC's Ministry of Attorney General, to our Justice Services Branch and Community Corrections Branch, Court Services Branch, Prosecution Service, Legal Aid BC, Law Foundation, Native Court Workers, and Police, thank you. We have worked together side by side, and our path has led us here today. To the Provincial Court, the opening of this Indigenous court represents an important step in reconciliation, where we are united in action. We are united in our vision to create a court that will meet the unique needs of the Indigenous peoples in this territory and the community. This court will focus on building supportive and enduring relationships with the Indigenous leaders, elders, and community to bring Indigenous beliefs, culture, and traditions in developing healing plans to support Indigenous people who come to the court. Local Indigenous elders and knowledge keepers who have completed a program of orientation will provide advice to the court about the individualized healing plan for the Indigenous person being sentenced. The elders play a significant role in all our provincial Indigenous community courts. Indigenous culture and sharing of the beliefs of balancing physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual elements are critical to well-being. The elders bring their wisdom and life experience to help everyone in court understand that awareness, knowledge, and respect for Indigenous spiritual views and connection to the land and universe empower their people to heal. The elders bring their support to people in court to help bring healing and empowerment, and they also guide people in the court. We are joined today by elders, Elder Joan Gentles, Elder Mary Alphonse, Elder Sandra Dixon, Elder Doreen Harry, Elder Phyllis Rosette, Elder Alex Norquay, Elder Wayne Lucier, Elder Charlotte Gilbert, Elder Erwin Johnson. These healing plans are at the heart of BC's Indigenous sentencing courts. They balance the legal requirements of the traditional court system with Indigenous methods of achieving justice. It is not just about the end result, it is about the process of justice. Yesterday, the Provincial Court of British Columbia had 6 Indigenous community courts and 1 family healing court, each one adopting their own traditions and approaches, each one unique and a reflection of the community they serve. New Westminster, North Vancouver, Kamloops, Duncan, Nicola Valley, Prince George. Today, we celebrate that there are now 7 Indigenous sentencing courts in British Columbia, and another one coming in 2021 in the community of Hazelton. It is my great honor to stand here today with all of you as we celebrate the opening of the Williams Lake Indigenous Court. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your amazing words, Melissa Gillespie, Chief Judge of Provincial Court. I it really, being part of this community and being part of a lot of the progressive processes that we're utilizing in BC, it really warms my heart, and I'm sure a lot of other community members too know that there's a real understanding and knowledge of the importance of First Nations culture and traditional practices. So incorporating that is amazing. Next, it's my honor to to introduce the Honorable David Eby, our Attorney General and Minister responsible for housing. I would like to go ahead and do that now.
Thank you, Carrie, and good morning, everyone. I'm joining you from the territory of the Musqueam people here at the University of British Columbia. It's a great honor to be able to participate in this really significant event for the entire Williams Lake community and the Secwepemc, Chilcotin, and Carrier Nations. I'll begin by thanking so much the Little Chiefs. What a wonderful way to start today. What an inspirational reminder of why this work is so important. I'd also like to acknowledge, of course, Chief Sellers, Chief Robbins, Chief Lulua, Chief Price, Marlene Swears from Métis Nation, and all the elders who are joining us here today virtually. And I also want to thank, of course, Chief Judge Gillespie for her leadership across the province in opening Indigenous courts and working with Indigenous people to continue the momentum behind this really important initiative, and other members, of course, of our provincial court who are participating in this project. I know we have a lot of members of the community watching today and who are excited about joining us, and I'd like to welcome them as well. This is a really important milestone for the province and for the Williams Lake community. I obviously had thought that I would be with you in Williams Lake way back in the spring, and then COVID happened, and I imagined anyway, it would hopefully just be a short period of time before we could all get together. But here we are virtually gathering to celebrate. And I want to thank everybody who was involved in getting this project off the ground and in assembling this virtual celebration so we could still gather to appreciate the work that's been done and the impact that this opening of an Indigenous court in Williams Lake is going to have for the community. As you know, our government has been working very closely with the First Nations Justice Council and with Indigenous communities across the province because our justice system needs to improve for Indigenous people, and it needs to improve in a way that is led by Indigenous people. And that's why we have a justice strategy that was actually written by Indigenous people for Indigenous people that's leading us in this work. We know that the overrepresentation of Indigenous people in our criminal justice system is a product of intergenerational trauma from residential schools, systemic discrimination, and many challenges faced by communities. And that's why it's so vital to have elders participating in this process and ensuring that we're talking about restorative justice, addressing the roots of why the person is involved with the criminal justice system, rather than ignoring those roots and just hoping things will get better on their own. This vital involvement of elders is incredibly appreciated by me, and the commitment that these individuals make to their communities is incredibly appreciated by government. I want to note that this, as Chief Judge Gillespie noted, this is the 7th Indigenous court that is opened in our province. There are more to come, but this will make a big difference for people who used to travel to Prince George or Kamloops to find these kinds of services. To have them in the local Williams Lake community means more people will be able to access them and more people will benefit. This is another step towards reconciliation, but our work is far from done. We have so much more work to do, and I'm appreciative of these foundational steps in your community because we can build on this and we can do more work going forward together. I'm looking forward to witnessing the rest of the ceremonies here today. I'm really honored to join you. Thank you for inviting me to participate. And I hope that the rest of today is a success. And I hope that the court is a success and achieves the goals and is that foundation for more positive work in our community for Indigenous people across the province. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Cooks Jim, to Honorable David Eby for those words. It it really sheds a light that our government is beginning to work with First Nations in regards to any kind of issues that are happening in communities. And from what I understand, the Honorable David Eby has been fighting the good fight for many, many, many years. So Kuksjam to you. And I would just like to mention and thank everybody who is joining us live. It is a monumentous occasion, and those of you that are able to be here, thank you so much for your time. Cookbis Sellers, the Honorable Melissa Gillespie, Attorney General, everybody. Next, I would like to introduce an instrumental woman who's been involved in this process for a very long time. She is the executive director of the Nilin Justice Society here in Williams Lake, and has been working relentlessly towards having this process come to this community. Without further ado, I would like to welcome Samantha Joe Dick via video.
Abananas, Samantha Sethas, Clarin Cortes ni Seilgot in Naslinas. Good morning. My name is Samantha. I am from the Anaheim community of the Seilgot Nation. I am the executive director of the Yeqox Nilin Justice Society. I wanted to start out by welcoming you guys all here virtually to witness this historic day, to celebrate the nations coming together to bring Indigenous court to Williams Lake. There's countless people to thank, the people who took time out of their day, time out of their work to meet with us, to continue this process to ensure that we brought Indigenous court to Williams Lake. Thank you. I also wanted to take time out to thank Dave Dixon, Rod Hawkins, and Jim World. Without you starting the groundwork to bring Indigenous court to Williams Lake, and then graciously handing it over to the Yeqox Nilin Justice Society, I want to thank you for starting this and for having that vision for our people. From this point forward, we will have a space to incorporate our own traditional practices and healing. We welcome accountability into our court system. In the past 10 years that I've worked in the justice system, I've watched people succeed, but I've also watched them fail. My heart goes out to those who are still struggling with their past traumas, to those who are stuck in the revolving door of the justice system. My hope is that you continue with your healing journey, that Indigenous court, the elders, everyone who is involved from the frontline workers to the justice workers are able to help you succeed in that healing journey. It takes a network of people to ensure that Indigenous court is run properly and soulfully for the client's best interest at heart. We cannot create a healthy community unless we help one another. And today, this is one of those steps forward. Today, we gather virtually. As much as we would have loved to come together to celebrate, unfortunately, we could not. We had to settle for the second best option. We plan to come together in the future, nation to nation, hand in hand. But when it's safe to do so, we will celebrate. We will have ceremony. We will celebrate the fact that we are able to bring our traditional justice practices into the court systems. Today, we come together to celebrate Indigenous court in a good way. We blanketed the elders. The ceremonies represent wrapping them in the good work that they are doing and the good work that they are about to do. Our elders are Mary Alphonse, Sandra Dixon, Urban Johnson, Charlotte Gilbert, Phyllis Rosette, Doreen Harry, Alex Norquay, Wayne Lucier, and Joan Gentles. You will forever be in the history books as our first elders to sit at the council table for Indigenous Court of Williams Lake. I am so very honored that I'm able to take this step forward with you, that we have your guidance from this point forward. I hope that you all enjoy today's events, and I hope to see you in the future at our official grand opening. Sichanal.
Thank you so much. That was the executive director of the Nilin Justice Society. I've known Samantha for some time now, and as you can probably hear in the video, very passionate. And for her to be persistent to make sure that this happens for this community, I think you have to have passion to keep pushing forward like that. So Cooks Jechum Sachanaya to Samantha for being a vital member of helping this happen. Next, we are going to present a smudging ceremony from Gukbe Fred Robbins of the Iskedam First Nations. For those who aren't familiar with the ceremony, a smudging ceremony is a purification ceremony. A lot of our events and a lot of what we do will start with a smudging ceremony. It's said that, and these are the teachings that I've learned, it's said that it will purify the air around us, purify the buildings or locations where we're having the events. It will also clear our minds. We usually utilize it to bless our eyes so we can see, our mouths so we can speak the truth, and our hearts so that we can feel in a good way. So before moving forward, we're going to have Fred Robbins and a couple, I think Freddie Johnson as well, joining us via video and presenting a smudging ceremony.
The four in front are the commitment sticks. The commitment sticks are to be used in the court when the judge comes in and the council and the elders, they're to take the commitment stick, and when they're speaking, they're holding that stick. So when there's a staff standing up, that person has the floor. It's a lot like a talking circle, right? There's a staff or an item. Same kind of thing with the commitment sticks. Freddie already blessed it, he smudged it off. And now we're gonna sing an honor song for the Four Nations and the commitment of the court. And Freddie always said you gotta have a witness to any kind of blessing or ceremony. And I started using this eagle whistle as my witness. It was made from an eagle that was given to me by the COs. And the carrying case was gifted to me from an elder. Start with elder song. Got it on hand. So now we'll sing one more song. We'll sing the Goofy Player song for French. And while we're singing that song, Freddie, if you can light the smudge and smudge the whole. is blessed.
I just want to explain the colors and from some of the teachings that I've gotten from some of our oldest elders. And it goes back pre-contact that each nation had its own color. Each family even had their own, the way they would paint their face, the way that we mark our trails. Anastasia still has Andy's ball that had a mark on it, and it had a family mark on it, had two arrows pointing towards each other. That meant they were from the confluence, the two rivers meeting. So every family had a symbol from where they were from. And so as we traveled through the territory, they had medicine pits, and just our elders would make pits, and they would put roots in rows and rows and rows. And Tommy remembers the last pit that they put in, all our women. She said Anastasia was there, Lottie was there, all the kids we're talking about today were there. They were up here, and they made that pit. And the idea was you could travel right through Secwepemc territory. You could take up those pits as you traveled, so you could travel fast. And as you went through a pit, you would put a marker in the pit, your family marker, so people know who you were. And there was a pit down at the river, a medicine pit, food pit. There were 140 families that were moving across and used that pit. And they would stop and they would dig up their roots they needed. And they would build a fire, and they would keep that fire going on that pit through the whole summer, through the year. So if people were going through, they could travel fast, and they didn't have to gather food because everybody was gathering food for them as they went. So as the different nations came in too, there were different trails that they could come in, and they would keep their colors on them so we would know who they were. And if they were given permission to hunt, they would carry someone's colors, and they would put that on their tent or in their trail before they came in, so people knew who were on the land. And then those family connections were strong that way. So that's what, these colors mean. Like red was Secwepemc. Like we used to paint our forehead, and you could see from a long ways who was coming if it was Secwepemc. Later, they would put flags on their arms, and it would tell what they were doing. If they were, for peace, they would have different colors, or if they had someone with them, they would have different colors as well. The yellow was the Saffrons, the Chilcotin people. The green was the carrier, and the blue was the stallion. And then that way, when you went through the territory, people would go around and check to see who was on the territory. And then that's the way we govern ourselves. And if you were visiting someone, they would put their flag on their house as well, so people knew you were there. So that's the significance of the colors, and it was passed down to me from came from our ancestors, and that was part of our governance. Yeqox.
Sorry about that, some technical difficulties. Thank you, Yeqox, to the traditional leaders and our Kukbe of the Yeqox First Nations. Now, there was a great presentation done by our, Zan Kukbe, which is a hereditary chief of the Yeqox. That was Francis Johnson, one of the leaders of the Yeqox First Nations. Next, and in my opinion, one of the big reasons why we're here is going to be a blanket ceremony. Now, for those who aren't very familiar with the blanket ceremony, in our culture, a blanket will be presented to an individual. Now that blanket will usually be placed on that individual's shoulders, and usually go all the way down, starting from the left to the right arm, and over their heart. And this is the way it was explained to me, to keep positivity in and negativity out. Now, these elders have been presented with blankets and have all been recognized to be a huge part of the justice and Indigenous court system. Once those blankets are presented to the elders, those elders will be trusted to work on behalf of their communities, their people, and on behalf of the Yeqox Nilin Justice Society. There were elders from all nations and all walks of life being presented, and that are going to be part of this Elders Council. There's Joan Gentles of the Tusi Tsukotin Nation, Mary Alphonse from WLFN, also Sandra Dixon from WLFN, Doreen Harry of the SXFN Nation, Phyllis Rosette from SXFN as well, Alex Norquay, who will be representing the Métis, along with Wayne Lucier, representing the Métis, Charlotte Gilbert of WLFN Eskedum, and Irvin Johnson, Eskedum as well. This has all been pre-recorded, and I would like to go ahead and present that now. Thank you.
De condusko is allemaal staan smellen goed samen. Stuk MS, de apps leven in de crisis de scherp. Op een geen mens de condus ziet, dus nog een kopje weg, nog even gezegd.
So what we're going to do is we started with the opening prayer. Han's going to do the introduction of what we're doing. And then we'll start with Doreen. Harold will smudge Doreen. Then the two people who's going to blanket her will come up here and blanket her. And then Harold will brush her off again. And then we'll do myself next. Okay, so that's how we'll start. Hank's going to introduce introduction.
Okay.
Yep.
Wait before Hank Adams from Yeqox. Cookie for Swacham Kaplan. I'd like to welcome you here today. I'm very honored to be part of this blanketing ceremony today. We have two of our elders, our matriarchs for the Indigenous courts, Doreen Harry and Phyllis Rosette. I'd like to thank Clara for the prayer. Also, we have Harold Harry here, who's going to do the smudging today. And we have a couple of witnesses here today for the ceremony, Dolores Duncan and also Eileen Rosette. Very important moment for Indigenous people here in the Williams Lake area. As you know, we as First Nations face a lot of issues with regard to the justice system. For example, overrepresentation of Indigenous peoples in the justice system and also in the prison system. So this is a step toward bringing our culture into this paradigm to start looking at our Indigenous way of resolving some of our issues by having our elders involved in the future and in the lives of our people going through the court systems. So I'm very honored and happy to be here today. Harold's going to start by smudging Doreen, and then we're going to have Dolores and Clara here to blanket Doreen and Phyllis, and then we're going to end off by singing a song, Kuksham. Yeah. Also, this is a symbol of protection, a measure of protection for our elders. Once they start doing this work, part of keeping them safe and also cleansing them for all the future work that they're going to be doing for our people. Once we get the blanket on her.
just stand there, you want to hear if you want. Are we gonna just sing that song?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sing the Women's Warrior song, and when we sing that song, and then we sing the Men's Warrior song, and then Women's Warrior song.
Mm-hmm.
We're here today to stand up and recognize the elders of the Iskerim community that are going to be participating in the Williams Lake Indigenous Court. I'd like to honor these elders with a blanketing ceremony and honor songs. Ask you to be seated. Francis, can you take the blanket behind Irvin, and you can take the blanket behind Charlotte? We'll be singing the Elders Honor Song. David? We started with the Scum Christus Genome, Grizzly Bear song to give strength. And we'll finish it, the last 2 beats of the Grizzly Bear song. I want to thank you for having the courage to do this for people, to offer support services to the participants. Scum Christus.
Unam kokstako nalya. Huitwis kokstako. Junwis la hayakten. You use twixt. Ach, better yeah. In the way, Freddie, that's a geeker. Well, better. Well, that's a geeker. Hoe eet lo echt ne elia was a knochen 12. Treits elam reeds onder reis knochendem. We beschrijven ze wapen. Carrier is de Métis. Treits elam. Wichtge. Duncan en Lottie. Lo was a knochen 12. Wel alt lo. That's a kicker. Well, alt lo. Tillem reine elia John Rees. En Jawalo se dicht nie en. Moest ik knogen soms en zo wel. Juk weer energie, ik nog soms Hakan Gillespie no and Gretsch no Gal Cookby Camet. Anyway, Stones will welcome. Dalux Gillespie Lamwa Awad Naalia Methodist Lakalmo. We joined them is chicken dam is knochen dem swede geplet. We now were eklo in Sama. You real Methodist go Heilam Tasks Kupen. You real Expetenisten from Pien Naalia. I want to say, I remember all of the old timers, Duncan and Lonnie, Ray and Elsie, your band, yeah, David and Celestine, Pat and Stacia. They were strong together. They made each other strong. That's why I sang today for her, because she makes me strong. But we want to help. I remember that day when they came here and they asked us, we want to get this Indigenous court started to help all of those that are getting lost. And I remember the enthusiasm we had to say, yes, let's do this. That was a few years ago. Finally, we're at this stage here now. And like I say, I want to remember, it was our elders, our parents, our grandparents, our uncles and aunties that were there strong together, and they showed us the way, that this is how you behave in order to help other people. And it don't have to be your kids, you can help everybody. And I remember that when I say this here. So that's what I said in Sewepa. So I want all of us to really help everyone, and just some people got lost along the way and just don't remember that, or they didn't have what we had here. So we got to share that. We've got to share and be there. We can't keep stepping back. So this is why I choose to stand forward, and she drugged me along. Thank you. She's my rock.
Cook's Jam. Yeah, I remember the meetings when we first attended. And here's Irvin pounding at the table. We got to stop talking. Let's get this on the road. Enough. Now, here we are. And thank you very much for being here and witnessing this blanketing and the ceremony. It's really important. And the work that is going to be done, in the court for our people. We're not just going to be doing Sawabon. We're going to be doing, the Carrier and the Besatlan and the Métis, and the passion, for us to make it better for our people, to be able to, realize what they're doing is not the right thing to do, to get them on the right path, and help them along. I think that's the purpose of why we're doing this. It's not for them to go to court like as it is now. Go to court, get out, do the same thing, get back in again. We want to keep them out of the being incarcerated and help them. Cook's Chem, it's going to be a hard work. Cook's Chem.
And the last thing I want to say is, we're trying to help other people. And look what's happened to us. You know, I mean, we're being recognized for people wanting to help. So I think that's gonna come at some point. You're gonna be the elders on this community, in your own community. And I never thought that I'd ever get this far here, or this old, or whatever. When I was that little kid, always getting in trouble. But not major trouble.
Ooh, well, it's gifts and recognizing the work that you're going to be doing.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, was not you when earlier. Good job, good job.
Well, we have a couple of gifts for people that helped us today. I did that.
Wow. You got to read her. Let's go.
Yes, you remember
Yeah.
practice for helping us today. And for helping us today.
Thank you.
Cool. So that concludes our ceremony.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. We're now.
But thank you for coming, Sandra, Mary. Today is a pretty cool day. I don't get to be involved in many of these ceremonies, so I'm very excited. The initiative is something that's pretty powerful for First Nations people across the region, and is something that, you know, we don't see often, which is you know, all of the communities coming together for a collaborative approach to helping our people. And you two are a part of that. So thank you for stepping up and being advocates on behalf of WLFN and the Williams Lake region. Thank you, and I would like to invite you with open arms to the territory. And with that, I'm going to hand it over to Joanne.
I was just trying to remember Joanne Louise Rinsquist, Lachel the Sawatwin, Ren Isabel Bob, Robert Gilbert Ren Gotcha, and Josephine Wycott Ren Kea, and Chief James Louis Ren Chpa'a. So my name is Joanne Louise from the Williams Lake First Nation, and my mother was the late Isabel Bob, and my father was Robert Gilbert. My grandmother was Josephine Wycott, and my grandfather was Chief James Louis. And I would just like to begin by just letting you know a bit about the ceremony. I'd like to say thank you to everyone for being here. Thank you to our two honorees for being here with us. And I'd like to acknowledge Dave, our cultural worker, Dave Archie, for helping us come together with the ceremony. And in regards to the blanketing ceremony, it is a very important ceremony in that when somebody, an individual or a group of people have done something that is significant, that to help a community, that we want to recognize them and we want to gift them, and we also want to just hold them up in honor for what they have done. And with the blanket also too, it is something to hold that training within that individual, and something to recognize them so that when they go somewhere, because with our people, our Indigenous people travel all over, and whether they're going to different gatherings, whether they're outside or whether they're inside, that when they have this blanket with them, then, you know, people will ask, and I'll let Sam explain a little bit about the the logo that is on the blanket that's being presented today and what the significance is. But also too, that's the importance of this gift that is being presented, that when you're using it, whether you're at a powwow, a meeting, at a Lahel tournament, or wherever you are, whether it's even at the Stampede, that, you know, people will ask you about what you've received, or what, you know, what does this mean? And so Sam will explain that to you. So I would just once again say thank you for being here, and I'll say a little bit about one of the participants later. Juke, all my relations.
Hello, everyone. I'm very honored to be a part of this blanketing ceremony today. It's a very emotional day for a lot of us that have been involved for years and months of meeting weekly and bi-weekly, and to ensure that our elders are prepared and our elders are ready. And I think that moving forward, we couldn't have moved forward with the elders, without the elders having our back, without the elders giving us their wisdom, their knowledge, and their support, and for the nations coming together and supporting one another with this initiative. It's a very rare but very positive step forward for our region. The reason that we wanted the blanketing ceremony and we wanted Indigenous court to start off on the best foot possible was that ceremony is how we start out in a good way. The blankets are resembling the great work that you guys are already doing, the great work that you're going to be doing with Indigenous court. We'll be sealing that with your blankets. We really hope that you guys enjoy the blankets. If you guys want to come here, we have the blankets have, each feather says Yeqox, Northern Sokotan, Algacho, and the Métis. Each of the feathers are different colors because each of the nation's logo has similar colors. So these are the colors that each nation chose. We have the sash for the Métis that will be involved in Indigenous court. We have the helping hands in the middle to remind ourselves that Indigenous court is about helping those people who are lost and need that positive step forward and need that support as a nation. You know, I remember my grandmother telling me that we can't move forward unless we don't help. We need to help each other. So that is what that resembles. And that's what you guys can carry with you. You guys are making history next week. You guys will be the first Indigenous court elders of Williams Lake to step forward. For years to come, we will know that you guys were the very first elders to bring us forward to our region. Thank you.
So I'm sorry, I'm having a hard time kind of breathing with this on. I don't know if I can just open it for a bit because you all have yours on. I just would like to recognize our elder, Mary Alphonse, and I feel very honored to be asked. I'd like to say thank you to our cookbeat Willie for asking me to be here to represent our council, and also our Indigenous women from our community and from the other communities. And Mary, we're just so grateful for all of the work that you have done, all of the work that you have done within our community, and that it's not just specific work for different people, and it's not even just specific to our community, like all of the life skills training that you've been involved with for decades with, you know, the SAGE trainers and with traveling all over, so that people are already aware of who you are, and that's important. And I want to also say thank you to Sam for mentioning that we have to walk in two different worlds as Indigenous people, and that it can be very scary when we haven't been navigating. I know for myself, I had to go through a bit of involvement with this past year, and it was very scary not to know how to navigate within the court system and how to help my loved one through that. And there was not too much support, and I don't even know if I would have reached out to anyone. But I think with knowing that we have people such as the two of you, and especially with you, Mary, that you come from such a good place where you're always welcoming people and, you know, you're not judgmental. And even as a single mom, to have all of that I think is going to help you with the job that you've been given with the training with the Indigenous courts. So I want to just acknowledge you for that, and just to say that I really wish you well, and I can't wait to see everything, you know, next week, and to see the work that's going to be done, and that you also still have another gift that'll be coming in the new year for yourself. So that is the background on Mary, one of our elders from the Williams Lake First Nation and from the Alphonse family, which is a very big family. And I'm sure that your mom, you know, must be really proud up there in heaven as she's looking at the work that you continue to do. All my relations. Sorry. It's okay.
So Mary, we'd like to honor you for all of your dedication to your community, to your people, and to all people. With your journey forward, we'd like to blanket you, and we'll be brushing you off today with water, the whole source of all of our being. So thank you for all of the things you've done for us here and the generations coming.
The next elder that will be presenting the blanket to is Sandra Dixon. Sandra Dixon is not a part of any of the First Nations around this territory, but she is definitely adopted into the territory for being living in the territory with her husband, Dave Dixon, for so many years, and all of the things that you do for this community as a whole. We just want to thank you, and it's a huge step to step into a different territory and say, I want to help, and I want to be here for your people. I watched you through the last few years, meeting you for the first time in Prince George. You were very quiet, but most of the time the quiet people are the ones that absorb the most. They're the ones that are soft-spoken, and that is what we need at our table. We have a wide variety of elders, and you bring in this silence, but you also bring in that knowledge that will help our people move forward. Thank you.
Sandra, thank you for moving us all forward as a people. I'm sure that all of the First Nations members who come into the First Nations court will begin to find themselves through the empowerment of this court and through all the hard work that you and Mary and many others have done. Thank you for your dedication to all people. we raise our hands up to you, and we'd like to sing you the Mitchell Honor Song in honor of your work. Thank you.
You want to do warrior as well? Yeah. I think it's only appropriate as we honor 2 First Nations women in the blanketing ceremony that we also follow up the honor song with the Women's Warrior song. So we're going to do that one as well.
Yo, hey, hey, ya, yo.
with that, we'll conclude the blanketing ceremony for Mary and Sandra. And we thank you for the hard work that you've done and that you're going to be doing moving forward. It's good that, you know, a young leader like myself is able to participate with great mentors like Dave and like Joanne, and you know, to hold up our elders in a good way through ceremony, because, you know, we had this discussion yesterday when we were having the ceremony at the St. Joseph's Mission site. And ceremony is a big part of the healing process. It's a big part of dealing with the grief and the trauma. And as we hold you up, we want to empower you and give you strength for all of that work that you're going to be doing, but also all of the grief and the trauma that you're going to be facing and working with and working through with individuals while they heal themselves through that process. You know, an alternative to the federal and provincial court system through this Indigenous court initiative, I think is going to be key to, you know, helping our region heal as a region, helping our nations heal. And I couldn't be more proud as a First Nations person to be a part of this journey and to be a part of this day with you today. So thank you for allowing me to heal a little bit. Thank you for being such great role models for First Nations people across Williams Lake and across the Caribou-Chilcotin, all my relations.
Can I just say something? I have I don't know if you remember, Sam, you know, Marielle Saskamoose, she said as an elder, she said, you cry a lot and you pray a lot. And I'm from the coast, like Cedar is healing, but just as a representative of love and healing for First Nations, just a small symbol, but it represents, I think, our heart, Mary, is just tacit acceptance.
I would hug you if I could. Thank you for sharing that with us, and thank you for the gift. I couldn't be, you know, more happier in my heart on this day. Hold you up with all my strength.
I just would like to say thank you and acknowledge you, Sandra, for presenting this to us. I was blessed to spend some time with our elders, with the late Agnes Anderson and Clotilde Thomas, who are from our hereditary chiefs family. And I've been gifted to work out in the Chilcotin for about 10 years, but thank goodness I'm home now. But one of our medicines, our traditional medicines that was used was cedar. And that was something with colonization that was taken away from us. And it was only, I think it was in like 2000, and it was just before Auntie Agnes passed away. So it must have been about 2014, 2015. And I was moving back to Anaheim Lake. And Auntie Aggie told me that I needed to use cedar, that I needed to have cedar with me as one of our medicines, so that, you know, I went out from Likely and I brought cedar with me. And I had that all around my residence while I was there. And then when I left, I just went and took it down, and I then disposed of it in the proper way. I put it in a fire as an offering. So I think it's really significant that you're presenting one of the traditional medicines that not only we use in the Secwepemc culture, but the Carrier people, and I'm sure even with the Chilcotin people, that you have different medicines. And I think it's also fitting too that you're presenting it to us, and then we're also presenting it back to you, because as Chief Willie said, that, you know, the job that you have to do, it's going to be hard, and that we have to remember, and not only with the cedar, but with the juniper, that we have different medicines that we use to bathe in, or even to brush yourself off, so that you leave all of that sorrow and that heartache from the people that you have to support, that you leave that and you don't carry it. So thank you so much for presenting, but I felt compelled to share that with you, that it's also one of our medicines. So thank you, all my relations. Thank you for the work that your society also has done with having this training. It gives an alternative to our people so that they don't have to go through the regular court system, because as I mentioned, it can be very scary and very not so positive. So all my relations.
So a blanket ceremony to us is representing the work that's going to be done. So when we offer a blanket, is for an offering for when we want good work to be done, or when there has been work already done in a good way, and we're acknowledging that. And so we have you two to wrap her in what we see as gratitude, and we see it as kind of like an embodiment of positivity. And so this smudge is to kind of seal that, and to help continue that more in a good way. And
we can't even see your smiles.
I'll smile through my eyes.
Yeah.
Eyes will be smiling very happily.
Smizing. You're smizing.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
You guys for your help.
Everyone, I'm Marlene Swears. I'm the president of the Yeqox Métis Association. Today I'm here to sash and blanket our first elders, Alex Norquay and Wayne Messier. And they are the first members of the Indigenous court in Williams Lake. And I'm going to introduce Alex first. Alex Norquay. Thank you. And so here's the blanket.
Père éternel, s'il vous plaît, guide puis emmène-nous en travers de ce meeting. Bénis tous ceux-là qui l'ont préparé puis qui l'ont fait le programme, puis tous ceux-là qui l'ont venu. mon Dieu, aide-nous travailler ensemble puis qui se comprend pour notre nation Métis qui reste pour notre monde dans le futur. Unis nos mondes avec les leaders qui cherchent le bon pour trouver les réponses qu'on peut avoir. Prions pour nous autres mêmes puis toutes les familles qui ont besoin de nos prières. Amen.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
In closing, I would like to offer a translation of the Métis prayer from our elder, May Pellin. Eternal Father, please guide us in the meeting. Bless all those that prepared the program and all those that came. My God, help us work together that we understand each other as we advance the Métis Nation in the future. Bless also the leaders who work for these answers. Pray for the Métis, for all the families that need our prayers. Amen.
Welcome back, everybody. And I just want to say a few words in regards to those blanket and sash ceremonies. It was amazing to watch and to see such leadership coming together towards an amazing cause, and all spearheading in a direction that is going to benefit this entire area. It was beautiful to see the elders and the knowledge and wisdom that they're going to bring forward to this society. Cook's Gem and Sachanalya to all the elders that are taking that responsibility. Oh, and merci to the Métis, and congratulations to the elders that are taking that responsibility and moving forward. Next, I would like to, it being COVID and everybody respecting social distancing, that's the big reason why we're presenting a lot of videos, and a lot of the information being presented has been pre-recorded. But nonetheless, a lot of chiefs, a lot of leaders have taken the time and put in a lot of energy towards celebrating this opening. So without further ado, we're going to present a video which has Gukbe Willie Sellers, Nilin Linda Price, Gukbe Fred Robbins, Elder Alex Norquay speaking on behalf of the Métis First Nation. And we may be having somebody join us live a little later, but without further ado, I'd like to present that video from the region's leadership. Thank you.
Gukbe Willie Sellers runs Quest to Yeqox Mulu. Hello. I'd like to first acknowledge the territory of the Williams Lake First Nation, who I'm sending this video from, but I also wanted to talk a little bit about how important Indigenous court is for the Williams Lake and the Caribou-Chilcotin region. When we talk about our offenders, we talk about our healing in First Nations communities, we talk about the system that is currently being used and currently having mixed reviews across the board, especially in First Nations communities. The importance of Indigenous court coming into the region is giving our First Nations people, or people that are hurting, or people that are going down that bad path, an alternative to the court system that doesn't have the best track record with First Nations people. So I want to commend the staff. I want to commend the province. I want to commend all of those people that made this reality, but I also want to hold up every single elder that's sitting on this panel, that's helping us heal our communities and healing our people in such a good, positive way. Take some time to reflect, take some time to look in your heart, to do this in a good way. I really appreciate, and on behalf of the Williams Lake First Nation, everything that you do and everything that you are doing and everything that you're about to do on behalf of First Nations people for this region. Again, thank you, Cook's Gem.
Yao Dahuja Unilte. My name is Linda Price. I'm the chief of UFN. What an honor it is for me to be here today to join you in the opening of the Indigenous Court in Williams Lake. Thank you so much for all of you who worked so hard and so diligently to make this file come to fruition. I'm so proud of all the elders and all the training that they went through in order to make this day happen. Thank you so much. I look forward to working with you and wish you all the best as you work towards restoring our community members on the right path. Chinalia.
My Indian name is Mimal. I am the chief of the Iskerim, the people of the White Earth. And I just want to say that I support the Indigenous Court program. It's a long time coming. And the reason why I'm supporting it is because of the traditional cultural aspect and the matriarchs that are going to be participating in it. History has always told us that we need to respect our elders. And with that respect, I think it's important that we include them in the protocols around justice and what it means to be First Nations. The matriarchs are the knowledge keepers, and they are also the historians. They know the history of the First Nations people in and around the Caribou region. And I just want to recognize them for the work that they're going to be doing. You know, we had a blanketing ceremony here, and I just want to recognize the other elders that are from the different nations that are going to be participating. I also want to thank and recognize the judges, the Crown Council members, the lawyers, the legal teams, the sheriffs for the work that they're going to be doing to help and support Indigenous Court program. Over the years, it's been at least 2 or 3 years, but historically, First Nations were the judge and jury. There was a lot of discussion around Indian justice. Well, this is a program, I think, when it comes to Indian justice, that we can collaborate and work with the province and the federal government around the judge and jury piece. With Indigenous Court, the value of the elders setting in and being witness to the participants of this Indigenous Court system, I think is very valuable. The elders, like I said, they know the history, they know the knowledge, and they go back generations. So I just want to thank you and welcome our elders. I want to thank the province, and I want to thank all of those behind the scenes that we don't hear of, those that are the ones that are getting the job done to make it easier for all of us. Just want to thank you and raise my hands to all of you that are participating in this program. Kukshan.
Hi, my name is Alex Snarkway. I'm an elder with the Métis Nation here in Williams Lake, and I am part of the newly formed Williams Lake Indigenous Court. We, the Métis Nation here in Williams Lake, want to let everyone know that we wholeheartedly support this initiative of the Williams Lake Indigenous Court. We're looking forward, along with all of our other nation partners, we're looking forward to looking after our people and our children and help them wherever we can. Everyone who has taken part in this initiative has been so responsible, so enthusiastic, and are looking forward to this working very well. I appreciate the chance to say this to everyone, and thank you.
Kuksjachum Suchanalia to all of the Nilin and Gukbiz who took the time to record these messages. A lot of strong words and a lot of support and unification happening for the entire area, which is an amazing thing to see. Next up, I would like to, I'm privileged to present a friend of mine who has worked relentlessly towards helping our local Tikotin Nation strive and move forward with leaps and bounds. It's my pleasure to introduce Jenny Philbrick of the Tikotin Nation government. She is the executive director, and welcome.
Thank you, Carrie. Abananas, yes, as Carrie mentioned, my name is Jenny Philbrick. I'm the executive director here at Tsilhqot'in National Government. My father is from Tleniko and my mother is from Williams Lake First Nation. So I am so happy to be here. I think this is such a great initiative. So I want to start off with saying a huge Sichanaliya. Thank you to Yuko Nilin, our cultural ambassadors, our elders, our judges, everybody who's been involved in creating Indigenous court here in Williams Lake. I know it's been years in the making. I've also really enjoyed seeing all of the protocols and the traditions that have taken place to ensure that Indigenous court is taking place in a good way, that's starting in a good way. It's so nice to hear the language, to hear the songs, to hear the drumming, the prayers, and knowing that we are bringing back traditional protocols and intertwining them with modern day ways of being and doing. And this is what we do as Indigenous people. We're innovative, even the way we are presenting the new Indigenous court soft opening. This is very innovative, and this is who we are as Indigenous people. So I have no doubt in my mind that this Indigenous court is going to be super successful. It's going to be super effective, not only in promoting and uplifting our people, but bringing our nations together, our communities together is going to strengthen relationships. So I'm here to say again, Sichanaliya to everybody involved, and that the Tsilhqot'in Nation is so happy to be part of this initiative and that we're here to support in any way. Thank you.
Thanks, Jenny. Thank you so much for joining us, and thank you for sharing those amazing words. And it's nice to see that our leadership on so many different levels are coming together to support such an important process for our First Nations. We've got provincial leadership. We've got a lot of chiefs, Gukbiz, and it's exciting to see how many planes that this is coming from. That's going to conclude all of our speakers, all of our involvement. I would love to thank everybody who was involved today, the strong leadership, the elders, the honorable ministers, the court judges. You've all come together to work together as a team for the betterment of our society, our communities, and our local First Nations. There's no better cause than unification, and I think that there's going to be some amazing partnerships and some amazing decisions happening for the betterment of our entire society. So having said that, I would like to present Piel Lacis from Tusi. I've known Piel for some time, and I've had the opportunity to watch Piel grow from a young man, very cultural, very spiritual young man from the Tusi community, the Tsilhqot'in. He has grown from, I've known Piel since he was maybe 12, and I've got to watch him grow to the man he's become today, in an amazing role model for his community, and a very culturally knowledgeable and traditional person. So having said that, thank you everybody for joining us. And as we do with a lot of our First Nations communities and cultures, traditionally we end events with a song, a closing song. So Piel has pre-recorded a closing song and some remarks. I'm going to present that. But before I do, I hope everybody out there stays healthy, stays well, and please stay safe. Coach Jam, so generally, yeah. Thank you.
Shaya, Furinitzel Kanzin, Uzun, Noachanahia, Noachanathin. Like what's that? It's